For spooky reviews from Spooky Ventures, so far we've covered movies and collectibles and that kind of stuff, TV shows. But now we've got a book. This is Haunted Michigan's Haunted Lighthouses by Dianna Higgs Stampfler. And I mentioned this in the Spooky News a while ago. This book, it's your typical kind of book where, I've published a lot of similar books where it's a combination of, the ghost stories, the historical facts, biographical information, and whatever kind of information you have on different locations. So the concept is a pretty well done, pretty well used concept. Lots of books have utilized it, including many of mine. But it's a very, very nice book. For one thing, it's printed on some very nice glossy paper. That makes it really sort of a superior product to a lot of things out there. You've got black and white photos. You've got all the stories of these various haunted lighthouses. Now, lighthouses in itself, it's kind of an isolated thing. You've got it's designed to keep people from crashing ships, which means they build them where ships have crashed, and therefore there are a lot of death in the area and a lot of tragedy, I guess we would say. So they're kind of I don't know. There's a romanticism and sort of a creepiness to them to begin with, in a way, but also a beauty, if you think about it. So it's kind of a cool concept to begin with. She organizes the book based on the lake, whether they're on Lake Michigan or Lake Superior, which I think is an interesting way to organize the book. You've got stories of ghost lighthouse keepers, of course, and there's stories of ghost children. And like I said, she does a really good job of letting you feel like you're part of the backstory. Goes into a lot of details of people's lives and things, and it's very well researched. But what I found interesting is actually the writing style. I can't really put my finger on what it is, but I've read a lot of these kinds of books, and like I said, I've written these kinds of books, and I just like the way this one flows. It just sort of pulls you into the stories pretty well. I don't know what it is about Stampfler's writing style that really does that, because it doesn't, just looking at it on the surface, even as an editor looking at it, I don't see anything that really stands out, but this book really pulled me in very well, better than a lot of similar books. So and I'm not sure what she did differently, but bravo to her. Also, I would say that it's a very quick read, but there's a lot of details in it, a lot of good stories. For me, one of the stories that stood out the most was the Whitefish Point Lighthouse Paradise, which to me the tie that brought me in the most was the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which happened right off the coast where that is. And that was, the song was one of my favorite songs when I was a little kid, and I actually got to meet Gordon Lightfoot and ask him a couple of questions about it maybe 10 years ago. And so to me that story really stood out. But in general, this is just a great book. I can't recommend this enough. If you're interested in lighthouses, if you're interested in cool ghost stories and historic events, that kind of thing, you really need to get this. I mean, I know she runs a place called Promote Michigan, which is makes it Michigan centric, but you know what? You don't even need to be from Michigan to enjoy it. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.